like I thought your question was going to go like, oh, now you like me, I've been around, and it didn't feel like that. And it did feel like I deserve this now. Like, it does take that long to be at a point where someone should call you the hottest person in comedy. Like, this is a really hard thing to do. It's fun to do along the way, even when you're bad, but it's a skill that needs to be honed. No one comes out of the gate just being a great comedian, and so and it's a thing that you don't start until you're about 18. I mean, generally that's like early adulthood. And acting, singing, you can start that in your childhood, so you can have all those years banked by the time you're like, I'm 20 and I've got 20 years of doing this. But as a stand-up, it does take like 20 years to be someone that could be talked about in that way. So I felt like it was just, it was very validating, but it felt like exactly at the right time. Like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to be seen in that way, because if it would have come sooner, I would have felt like a fraud. I already suffer with imposter syndrome, and it would have wrecked me if it came sooner. Like, I haven't wanted this much attention before. I just really am like, I'm still cooking, and I'm still not completely done, but you can taste test me now. And just thank the creator of it to be like, thank you for bringing this to me. Like, I'm so excited for.
You say you weren't ready even a year ago. How do you get to that point? Like, what is it that has to be going on in your life, in the world? Like, what gets you ready for hosting the Golden Globe?
Like, reps. Like, just doing it all the time, putting yourself in situations that are frightening, that are high stakes, saying yes to things that scare you. I mean, I've said yes to so many things and I'm like, I'm not going to be ready for that. I can't do that. But trusting people who ask you to do things, not all the time, because sometimes they have no idea what they're asking of you and you're like, I can't do that. But really, like, challenging yourself. Something scares me. My answer to that is like, if I get asked for a gig and the reason I'm not doing it is because I'm scared to not look cool, then I have to do it.
Interesting.
Because that's not a good enough excuse. But if it scares me of I'm not funny enough to do this or something, like if it's about skill, like I listen to that thought. But if it's like, I might look stupid, I gotta do it. And I think it's just about reps. Like, I've bombed a lot in my career. Like, I've had bad sets that make me question everything. And when you survive really difficult things and really embarrassing things, getting kicked off Dancing with the Stars is first. Whoa. And like, not because you didn't care about it, but like, I really cared about it, and like was like, I'm gonna at least make it to like the semis, but like, no, we don't want you at all. Like, that was humiliating and felt like the business hates me, this sport hates me, and like, but I came out of that so humiliated, but I was like, now I can do anything. Like, that was so embarrassing, and I lived, and no one seems to care. Like, okay, let's just say yes to more stuff. So I think just like saying yes to things that scare you. And so the Golden Globes is like the scariest gig. I mean, it's live. It's in a well-lit room where comedy's not good in well-lit rooms. It's with people who take themselves too seriously sometimes. We've seen it not go well in the past. We've seen it go very well in the past. There's a fine line of offending people, but also like honoring them. So there's a lot of things at play that can make it go horribly wrong, but I've dealt with all of those stakes before, and I'm like, okay, I know what to do. So I'm really confident going into it. I'm not scared.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. But like, you mentioned the fine line, and I'm fascinated by that fine line.
Yeah.
Do you now understand what that fine line is because of 21 years in the business? Is that? Yeah.
I think it's the fine line has been honed because I've crossed it too many times and gone, oh, that's too much. And really just honestly not trying to make jokes that are going to like make people go, wow, she's so badass, and not trying to write jokes that are like, oh, good thing she's playing it safe. Like, just make jokes that make me laugh. But also, I know who I am. I don't want to make anyone feel bad about themselves or leave going like, on a night where they're being honored, leave going like, but she said that one thing about like, I don't want to make anyone feel bad. So just knowing that like my instincts are good. Like, I want to make, like, if I could handle the joke, because I'm a very sensitive person, that kind of like, I'm like, oh, I can do it then. Because I'm the most sensitive. So I kind of run it through like, oh yeah. I mean, I leave these roasts devastated. Like, because things get said about you and you laugh in the moment and you kind of go, it just flies over your head. But then later on you kind of go, wait, do I look like Larry Bird? They laughed really hard at that, like, and stuff stays with you. So I mean, the funny part is like comedians condition where we're so sensitive. So I think you just need to act from a place of empathy and be like, what if I was a super famous person, and although I'm super famous and it feels like, oh yes, she deserves it, she has everything in the world, let's make fun of this superstar. Like, I know that if I was a superstar, I'd still want people to be nice, and like, I still have feelings, and so I think that's helped. It's just like, how would I feel? And if I could handle that joke, then maybe I can say that joke.